This brand new AI tool just released, and you can think of it like an open source nano banana, but for video editing. It's called Lucy Edit, and its main focus is editing videos while preserving the original video. And no, this isn't just another video generation model. Now, what's also great is that you can run this totally for free and privately on your own computer, which I'll show you how to set up later in the video. Now, Lucy is built on top of WAN 2.2, which is an image and video generation model made by Alibaba. But what makes Lucy different is that they added this architecture that showcases the input video at each step of denoising. And this is what makes it so good at editing and maintaining the original look of the video, while also being super fast and super easy to run. Their best model, the Pro model, is a 14B architecture, and since it's built on top of WAN 2.2, we can see how it compares to other models, even beating them on some benchmarks. So just before I show you how to run this on your own computer, which by the way is really easy, don't be intimidated by this UI, I'm going to put the most powerful model to the test, whilst covering the 4 main trigger words that you need to know if you want to use Lucy. So now if you go to platform.dcart.ai, they're going to give you some free credits. So all we need to do is click on upload video. So this is just a simple video of me editing, and I want to change the outfit. So going back to the trigger words, we're going to try test out change. But just before I do that, I want to show you that Lucy created a prompt enhancement system prompt that we can use to make our prompts really good, specifically for Lucy. So what we can do is just open up ChatGPT, create a new project, and then in the top right of the project, just click on edit instructions and simply copy and paste the system prompt that they have at their bottom of the GitHub and paste it into instructions. As you can see, they added a bunch of rules and even examples of what a good prompt looks like. So save that, and now all we got to do is just paste any prompt straight into here. Make sure you're using GPT-5 thinking, and anytime you send any text, it will automatically assume it's a prompt and it will generate a better prompt for you. So we're going to copy this one, and this is the prompt that we're going to send. But before we send it, just make sure you have Pro enabled, because this is the 14B model, aka their best model. Dev is the 5B model, which is the open source version that you can use on your computer for free, which I'll show you how to set up in a bit. And we're going to choose 720p for the aspect ratio, and we're just going to send it off. Okay, so we have our first generation. And look, I'm not going to overhype this tool. There is some work that still needs to be done. As you can see, the chair is slightly cut off here and my neck is a bit weird. However, the consistency of the environment and the physics of me wearing the suit look extremely good. So the next trigger word is going to be add. And I'm just going to speed run these. Basically, add for me didn't work that good. As you can see on screen right now, I took a little video of my desk with nothing on it, with a bit of space for a PC, and I told Lucy to add a gaming PC, and I added it more off to the left. It didn't recognize where to actually add the gaming PC. So that's why I'm going to just speed run these next 2 trigger words. The next one being replace. Now this one was a bit interesting because I recorded a can of Red Bull, and when I told it to replace it with a coffee cup, it did do it pretty well. However, it stuck to the dimensions of the Red Bull can for the coffee cup, and the cup doesn't look that realistic. So if you do want to replace objects, keep in mind that you should keep them the same dimensions as the object that they are morphing into. And the last trigger word is transform. I'm not even going to show you the examples I got because they were really bad. I could not get a good example for this. Lucy Edit does have this example of them transforming a scene into a snow scene. However, every time I tested it, it just didn't come out well at all. It completely transformed the scene without keeping any consistency in the characters, which is, in my opinion, the whole point of this tool. So now we're going to move on to the part that I'm excited about, which is actually running this on your own machine. Now, the biggest difference between the Pro model that we just witnessed and the open source model that you can run on your machine is the model size. The model we just ran is 14 billion parameters. This one is only 5 billion parameters. So just a warning, don't expect this model to replace your current AI generation editing tools, whatever you're using. However, with that being said, you still can generate cool videos. So obviously changing the character to a Lego character or changing the man into an alien. And so to run this on your own computer, the first thing you want to do is open up GitHub and download the model weights down here. And make sure you have ComfyUI downloaded as well. Just go to comfy.org. This is like your playground for open source image and video generation models and running them on your own machine. So once you have that downloaded, open up your terminal, and then you're going to want to CD into the folder where your custom nodes for ComfyUI are located. If you don't know how to find that, just open up the ComfyUI folder you just downloaded and then open custom nodes. And you can simply take a screenshot of the folders and ask ChatGPT, how do I CD into this folder? I'm on Mac or Windows if you're on Windows, and then it will give you the command. So just copy whatever you got and replace it with the top one here, and the rest will stay the same. I'll also add this to the description so you can just copy and paste it. So again, open up your terminal, Control-V, and send that into your terminal. It will download all the requirements. And to make sure you have it downloaded, open up your ComfyUI folder again and go into custom nodes, and you should see Lucy Edit ComfyUI. So then start your ComfyUI server, and inside your custom nodes folder, open up the lucyedit.comfyui, go down to examples, and over here we have basic Lucy Edit dev.json. So simply drag and drop that into ComfyUI, and that's how you'll get this entire workflow. Now, if you get this error when you try drag your .json into ComfyUI, simply click on Open Manager down here, and then just click on install for the required nodes. After they're installed, restart ComfyUI and try again, and it should work. Now, you don't need to understand any of this in order for it to work. The two main things you need to know about is the prompt, which you change here, and the load video node over here. If you run into any errors throughout this process, by the way, just ask ChatGPT what's happening, send it a screenshot, and tell it to explain it in simple terms. So you can click on it and upload a video, and as you can see, we have a video over here now. I'm just going to change the prompt to be wearing a black suit, and then you can click on run. What's cool about this is that all of this is private and all of this is local, so no company will get your data and will get your videos. Okay, because my PC was struggling, I basically rendered a video that only has 16 frames, and I turned down some of the settings so that I can actually render this video whilst I have my OBS running. But don't get too excited. I already know this is not going to be the greatest generation because this is such a small model running locally, and instead of images, this is trying to compute videos, which is so much more difficult. And just like previously when I tested 3D models like 8 months ago, in 6 months they improved so much, and I think it's going to be the same for this. So by being up to date with all these tools and actually learning how to set this up on your own computer so that when these better models get released, you're already going to know how to set it up and you're going to be able to jump on it much quicker. And if you're going to be one of the people who actually know how to use these tools correctly, you're going to want to land yourself some clients. And if that's the case, I suggest you check out the How to Land the Top 1% Clients course that I have in the MM Bootcamp, where I broke down step by step how I became one of the top YouTube video editors, garnering over 500 million views on YouTube and landing over 53 clients. The link to that is below. But anyway, we have our video generated, and as I said, I only generated a couple of frames, but I did tell it to change a black suit. And if we're comparing it to the other model, you can see that the other model didn't make as much of a mistake with mixing up the chair and the character. However, the consistency and everything else remains pretty good. The model still has very small details. It still even has the Premiere Pro timeline down here, and the suit was changed. But with that being said, if you did enjoy, make sure you subscribe so that you get more of these educational videos on your YouTube feed. But thank you for watching, and see ya.